Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on SaaS or On Prem, choosing the right security tooling for your organization. My name is Shua Matin, and I'm a Senior Product Marketing Manager at Progress, primarily focusing on product marketing initiatives for chef compliance and security products. We also have with us Lokesh, who's a Senior Product Manager for chef's compliance and security focus solutions. So moving on to the agenda for today's discussion, over the course of this presentation, we will look at the current state of IT infrastructure for organizations. We will look at some of the trends in the market, the pros and cons of SaaS versus on-prem solutions for security scanning. We will also introduce how chef compliance and security comes to play. Believe some of you on the call use Chef Infra to automate configuration management. We will show you how chef compliance and cloud security helps in ensuring that these configurations are compliant. We will also go through a customer success story. We'll have a demo of our solution, and finally, we'll conclude it with a Q&A. So hybrid cloud models that incorporate both your on-prem infrastructure and cloud-based workloads, both private and public cloud, they have become the enterprise norm today, right? And a hybrid environment kind of helps organizations to keep on-prem servers for existing technologies and add other cloud-based resources, business systems as required. And there are many obvious reasons why organizations are going for hybrid environments. They have more control and flexibility. So we know companies work with different types of data in different environments, and they can adjust their infrastructure. A hybrid cloud setup uses traditional systems along with the latest cloud technology without kind of a full commitment to a single vendor, right? They need not commit to AWS or Azure or Ali Cloud, and they can migrate workloads to and from their traditional infrastructure and a vendor's public cloud as and when necessary. When it comes to scalability, again, hybrid cloud offers more resource options versus an organization's physical data center. And this makes it easier to provision, deploy, scale resources whenever there's a demand spike. And when demand exceeds the capacity of the local data center and private cloud, you can burst the application to the public cloud to kind of access extra scale and capacity. With a hybrid environment, organizations can keep data in a private environment while operating workloads in the cloud, or they can operate workloads in a private data center and move data to and from the public cloud as needed. In this way, they can meet security and regulatory requirements and still get all the benefits from the cloud's elasticity. With the private cloud, organizations own and operate the data center, which requires a lot of capital expenditure, upfront fixed costs. And again, on the other hand, with public cloud resources, they are more budget friendly. Hybrid cloud models improve business continuity and reduce any potential downtime, and again, resulting in cost savings. Basically, what it means is in the event of a failure or a disaster, business operations are able to continue as usual with very, very minimal downtime. Let's also look at some trends and stats that we see in the market. So cybersecurity professionals face an unprecedented threat landscape, and according to a report that we saw by Media ISC 75% of cybersecurity professionals, they view the current threat landscape as the most challenging it has been in the last 5 years. And only 52% believe that the organization has the tools, they have the people, have the processes to respond to cyber incidents over the next 2 to 3 years. And those with any shortages in skill gap, shortage in tools, they're far more worried about being able to keep the organization secure. Also, a report by IDC says that 90% of businesses across the globe will opt for an on-prem, multi-cloud and legacy platform mix to meet their infrastructure requirements. And again, this only confirms the trends that organizations are moving towards a hybrid cloud environment. However, with the different security tooling that they have, organizations often struggle because they have very minimal integration across the tools, and there's no single solution or no single tool to scan the security and compliance of their cloud and on-prem workloads. Let's also have a sneak peek into what type of data to orgs usually have on cloud versus on-prem. This is a snapshot from Flexera State of Cloud report. So if you see, more than half of the respondents said that they'll consider moving at least some sensitive consumer data or corporate financial data to the cloud. 17% said all sensitive consumer data will move to cloud or a SaaS environment, which has gone up from 13% year over year. And 18% said all corporate financial data will move to cloud, which has gone up from 11% year on year. So now that it is clear that most organizations are moving to a cloud and they have a mix of cloud and on-prem workloads, what about the security tools they use to scan the infrastructure? Do they use the same tool to scan the cloud and on-prem workloads, or do they have separate security tooling for on-prem and SaaS? Based on our conversations that we had with some of our prospects and customers, we've learned that many use a different set of tools to scan their cloud environment and on-prem environment. And there are many disadvantages with this. The sheer volume of different security tools and a lack of native interoperability between them is one of the biggest challenges that organizations face today. When there are multiple tools with no proper integration in place, it's kind of very difficult to get an accurate view of the entire threat landscape that they're facing. And new security tools, right, they tend to be kind of more focused on claiming that they can detect attacks instead of focusing on providing accurate and reliable information. Therefore, the more tools you have, it increases the alerts and it also increases the overall number of false positives. So you may use the same tool or different tools to scan your on-prem versus cloud workloads. Now, the question is whether these tools that you use to scan the security and compliance of your infrastructure, are they deployed on-prem or is it a SaaS deployment? I'm sure you're quite aware of the pros and cons of SaaS versus on-prem, so I won't be spending much time here. Lokesh will later cover the benefits of Chef compliance and security, which is deployed in a SaaS fashion. Cost is a big differentiating factor for SaaS, as there's no upfront cost compared to on-premises solutions. You won't need hardware or physical infrastructure, so you'll have no capital expenditures. The deployment is quite quick with very minimal setup. Upgrades can be managed very easily with SaaS. The cloud is scalable and provides on-demand services, so you can use as much storage and processing power as you need. And as you grow and as your needs change, you can increase cloud resources. One of the biggest advantages of on-prem is that you have more control over your solution. You can decide who has access, etc. And you anyway store data locally, so you don't have to fret over data security. Sometimes an on-prem deployment is preferred also for its performance and connectivity. Now let's look at some of the benefits that you get by having a SaaS solution for compliance and security. So you can have a comprehensive single pane of glass view across all of your workloads, whether it's on-prem, cloud, VMs, even container or Kubernetes environment. We'll be showcasing this in our demo, how you can get a very comprehensive single view across your environments. With the SaaS solutions, it's much easier to integrate with other systems and have data to and fro from other systems. You can have your different teams, your developers, operations, security engineers to collaborate effortlessly on delivering any application and infrastructure changes. And comprehensive compliance audits based on DSAS and CIS benchmarks of all IT resources across your cloud, on-prem VMs, containers, Kubernetes environments. All of this can be achieved with the compliance and security solution on SaaS. And we also wanted to let you know where Chef comes to play, as we saw that organizations these days have a hybrid environment, and many organizations have a complex set of assets or a fleet of assets that must be protected from misconfigurations, from on-prem data centers to multi-hybrid clouds to applications that reside at the industrial edge. There are many edge devices that organizations use today. So Chef Compliance and Security help to scan, monitor, and remediate any configuration issues across all your workloads. It helps you maintain and enforce compliance with standards like CIS benchmarks and DSAS ticks. And how do we enable this managing compliance from any cloud to any on-prem data center is something that Lokesh will walk us through. And we'll also be doing a demo of the solution. Thank you. And over to you, Lokesh.
Thanks, Shua. All right, let's see a quick overview about Chef Compliance and Security. Chef compliance audit capability helps security and operations teams maintain complete visibility over the compliance state of their estate. It comes with extensive audit content based on CAs and stick benchmarks out of the box that can be easily tuned to meet specific needs of every organization. And if you see, like Chef compliance audit provides up-to-date visibility across any on-prem or cloud environment or container or Kubernetes environments. And if you see like our automated remediation approach, no, it helps to close the loop between audit and remediation in order to enabling the continuous compliance in the enterprises. And Chef Compliance also has extensibility and flexibility to allow for customization of pre-packaged remediation content that can be modified to accommodate for corporate specific needs through the code. And if you see some of the key aspects of Chef Compliance and security are we have a strong and robust detection rule engine. We have Inspec as a base engine for our compliance and security product line. And we have multi-cloud reporting support where users can scan different targets on AWS, GCP, and Azure clouds. And they can also see these reports in Chef Automate dashboard. And user can also export their dashboard data or different types of data to different systems like Splunk, ServiceNow, etc. And we also have support for integrating with Azure policy as well. And overall, we have a strong coverage on CAs and stick benchmarks across different variety of systems, right from K8s, containers, Docker host, DB-related applications, server-related applications, and operating systems. And moreover, we also have strong foot or strong forte on with 500 plus cloud resources and K8s resources, where users can write their own customized profile for auditing their notes and targets. So yeah, this is about the overview about Chef compliance and security. Moving on to how does Chef accomplish continuous compliance? So before that, let's see quickly about what is continuous compliance. If you see continuous compliance, it is like a process of maintaining different levels of security posture to meet global best practices, industry standards, or state legislated regulations, be it like GDPR or be it California regulation or be it like CAS benchmarks, STIC benchmarks, NIST benchmarks, SOC 2 benchmarks. So yeah, it involves implementing a system to monitor security activities, detect instances where the processes become non-compliant, or where there are like non-compliant issues, or where there are vulnerabilities, different level of vulnerabilities. And there is also process involved in documenting all those things as well. So there is a proactive approach which helps to demonstrate a security posture for the compliance users and mitigate threat while continuously documenting the evidence for each time an audit is done. So this is about Chef. This is about the continuous complaints. And if you see with respect to Chef complaints, so organization can consistently and continuously enforce security based on different benchmarks like CAs and stick benchmarks provided by Chef. And moreover, we are also having support for SOC 2 benchmarks for AWS, GCP, and Azure clouds as well. So users can leverage all these benchmarks, and they can also leverage custom profiles to meet any enterprise role specific infrastructure or compliance policies. So they are able to detect security or compliance issues, and they can automatically correct them in order to maintain the continuous compliance. And if you see here in this picture, if you see our compliance and security offering helps compliance users right from development phase to the production phase. So they cover security, they do security checks from each phase of the development life cycle. So Inspec is again, as I mentioned, like Inspec is a base product which is used with our Chef compliance and security offering. It helps compliance users with evidence, artifacts during security review, as and when required by the auditors or any other compliance users. So yeah, all these things are achieved via our compliance as a code approach. So that's a base approach we use for doing our with our Inspec product line. So yeah, this is about how does Chef accomplish continuous compliance. Now let's see policy as a code approach. So before that, let's do a sneak peek about what is policy as a code. So policy as a code, no, it brings configuration management and compliance management into a single step or like in a single place, eliminating the security silos and moving everyone into like a shared pipeline and moving everyone like in a shared framework. And if you see, each organization has different policies, different benchmarks that might govern how they do their businesses. They might have different security standards adhering to different regulations, different regulatory requirements, and different organization mandates. So these constitute like a different set of policies, and typically these policies are defined in text format, like in PDF document or in Word document or in Excel document, and that can't be acted upon like within one click or within one scan. They can't be used seamlessly. So these policies are interpreted by humans like before it can be implemented or enforced. So our chef's approach is no, it's to define and document all these policies like in an unambiguous way and in like in human readable like in a source code format. And then like for compliance and security, we have developed a large library of chef curated premium content, that's CAs or STIG certified content. So these content, no, it will help you to harden the systems by configuring that in your nodes and applications and see if it's all working perfectly or not. And the real power of Chef is it encourages a collaboration across different teams like security team to compliance team to DevOps team by giving them the power to create, modify, and extend the codified policy to their business needs. For example, let's say we have one interesting feature called waivers, where using waivers, these teams know they can customize the pre-built inspect profiles and they can also turn off the controls which are not required by the business and run the audit scans. So that's how the chef system is extensible and flexible. And with respect to defining policy as a code, the teams can perform tests early and often. So Chef has extensive capabilities to support a test-driven development approach to ensure infrastructure and applications or policy complaint before being promoted into production environments. And when compared to other tools in the market today, Chef has fully integrated infrastructure and compliance policies to streamline the workflow for operators and ensure alignment all the way from the development phase. So yeah, this is an overview about policy as a code approach from Chef. Now, with respect to Chef Cloud Security, we have launched our cloud security CSPM product in May 2022. Some of the key features for CSPM, if you see, is like one is to audit, monitor, and detect misconfigurations. And CSPM basically identifies misconfigurations and policy changes through constant auditing, reducing the risk of unresolved misconfigurations that lead to costly breaches. Yeah, it covers all the misconfigurations provided by happening at different cloud providers level like AWS, GCP, and Azure. So this is one feature, and second feature is to have continuous security posture management. Our CSPM ensures cloud environments are always secure and compliant through continuous auditing for policy changes, enforcement, and risk assessment aspect. And the third is like Chef CSPM has good coverage. As I mentioned previously, we have strong coverage on CA, stock, STIG, and SOC 2 benchmarks. And we are also planning to accommodate FedRAMP, NIST, and PCI down the line. We can accommodate in our roadmap also. So in a nutshell, you can check for privileged account access, see if there are any S3 buckets with unsecured access, see if there are any open or suspicious network connections, see if there are any data leaks happening, and correct all this with appropriate remediate measures. So all this can be done with like less than I would say 5 steps from our Chef Cloud Security SaaS offering. And then one of our primary USP or key USP is our offering is one-stop solution for scanning multiple cloud providers, and users can also view all their scanned reports in a single dashboard. So that's one of our key USP of our Chef Cloud Security SaaS offering. So yeah, this is about Chef Cloud Security. Now moving on to Chef Container and Kubernetes security, we offer different benchmarks pertaining to Docker, GKE, EKS, AKS, and OpenShift container platforms. Our container security offering covers right from securing hosts to Docker images to K8s planes. So in a nutshell, KSPM helps to identify and fix security and compliance issues affecting Kubernetes compliance. So KSPM allows you to basically identify any configurations in your Kubernetes deployment, and it also helps to automate these security checks across different K8s clusters. And again, yeah, our offering helps you to with our standard benchmarks. You can scan and remediate any security and compliance failures. For example, if you have to enforce compliance frameworks such as PCI DSS, GDPR, SOC 2. It also validates configurations and based on those benchmarks and show you all the misconfigurations in a single report, and you can remediate those things. And you can also use different KTS resources to customize your own controls, and you can scan with your own customized content also. Yeah, so these are some of the benefits and overview about container and Kubernetes security. All right. Let's move to let's see like moving the SaaS way for compliance and security. So our Chef SaaS, no, it's like a cloud-based solution for infrastructure compliance and cloud security automation, which helps to manage the entire IT estates. Our Chef capabilities are available as like an cloud-based services, which helps customers with powerful automation capabilities with an added benefit of reduced infrastructure overhead and faster time to value. And like our Chef SaaS allows you to access Chef compliance capabilities, that let you to maintain complaints and prevent any security incidents across heterogeneous estates. And like Chef complaints helps in detecting non-compliance issues, identifying and prioritizing issues, and applying remediation measures across your entire fleet. And Chef SaaS also helps you to save time spent on redeploying the engineering resources, and it also helps you to reduce the risk with traditional manual complaints inspections. Sorry. It also helps complaints admins to monitor the entire complaints posture, and it also gives a lot of confidence to auditors, especially by ensuring that system always stays secure and compliant. And with respect to Chef SaaS, infra and compliance users, they can stay informed always and they don't need to miss any updates. So that's another important features of Chef SaaS. And then with the help of our policy as a code approach, which I mentioned a couple of slides before, Chef SaaS can help users to manage their workload better, and they can also solve configuration and compliance issues faster. Yeah, so this is about moving the SaaS weight for compliance and security. Now moving on to why Chef SaaS. So what are the benefits as a chef user and as a chef buyer you'll be getting? So first is no initial infrastructure cost. User don't need to pay any upfront fees for infrastructure. Second is no installation cost. All you need is it's like an internet connection and a browser, which is more than enough to try out our products. So the third is no maintenance and support cost. So overall, from key cost perspective, our SaaS helps organization to reduce the operational cost. It helps customers to save on operational troubleshooting cost and upgrade related time and resources. And we as a software provider, will be doing the heavy lifting of maintaining your deployments as well. So you don't need to worry about delaying the software updates, especially during any security vulnerabilities and with respect to patches and fixes. So you can also seamlessly upgrade to the latest patches of our products automatically. You don't need to deploy any additional resources for doing these software upgrades. And you'll be getting the access to your data on demand, that is whenever and wherever required. Our software is protected from data leaks. So being a compliance service provider, we are also strictly focusing on our compliance aspects. We take the compliance issues seriously. So basically, our software is protected from data leaks and other security attacks. We periodically comply with SOC 2, GDPR, and other regulations as well. And then our Chef SaaS is quick to implement, and it's very easy to configure and use. So with zero infrastructure setup required, you can get onboarded to our Chef platform easily and achieve faster time to value quickly. And Chef SaaS also helps to scale across different resources and then different nodes across hybrid cloud or on-prem environments. And if you see, all the data gets backed up to our cloud systems automatically. So on a final note, Chef SaaS also helps to reduce your carbon footprints, which is one of the critical initiatives for most of our customers. Yeah, so these are the benefits of Chef SaaS. Now let's see a quick case study or customer testimonial from our customer who is using Chef SaaS regularly. So iManage is our customer who is using our Chef SaaS keenly and who is using our product regularly. So let's see a quick summary about iManage. So iManage, it's a company that provides solutions around content management, document and email management. So it was basically started in 1995. It is based out of Chicago. It has over 750 employees worldwide. And so they came to Chef for two key use cases. One is for configuration management, and second is for compliance management for their both on-prem devices and for both cloud-related nodes. So they were facing challenges in terms of configuring and managing their deployments. So there has been a lot of manual resources and process involved in adhering to configuration management and compliance management. And also they were having lot of challenges in terms of scaling their nodes. So with the help of Chef SaaS, no, they can they achieved configuration management and compliance management seamlessly. They have set up their software quickly, and all the nodes, no, pertaining to configuration management and compliance management. All this can be automatable, and all these are scalable as well with the help of Chef SaaS. And one more thing, they can also write a meaningful code to achieve their end goal of compliance aspects. And to summarize, yeah, so they had reduced their installation time by 80%, and they have improved on application delivery rate by 66%. So yeah, this is about the quick testimonial from iManage on our Chef SaaS frame. All right. So let us see a recorded demo of how we are leveraging Chef SaaS to run a compliance on on-prem nodes, and how we are leveraging Chef SaaS to run a cloud security posture management scan on cloud targets, and one more scan on Docker environments, and how you can see all these reports in a single pane of glass or in a single dashboard from Chef Automate.
Logging into Chef Automate with admin credentials and navigating to the compliance page, you'll be presented with an overview of the compliance status, including severity levels and scan failures. In addition, given the ability to list all nodes, including detailed information such as the platform they run on, the environment they run in, the last scan, and the number of failed controls. Clicking Profiles will list all the installed profiles with details on versions, and a list of all compliance controls within the installed profiles. Clicking in the Scan Jobs, here you're able to create new jobs, as well as the ability to list and add new nodes. Finally, Profiles, where you can upload your custom profiles or select from a range of available CIS benchmark profiles. Let us now consider a specific use case. In this use case, we'll scan against an on-premises server that's running in the environment. The first step is to navigate to the settings and click on Node Credentials. Create a new node credential and fill out the necessary information such as the credential type, and since this is a Linux system, we've chosen SSH. Provide an SSH username and SSH credential type, either password or RSA. Here, we'll use an RSA key to allow us to connect to the system. Now, navigating to Compliance and Profiles, we've already uploaded a custom profile named Check for Nginx and OS. Looking into this profile, we see 4 available controls. The first will check the OS to confirm that the OS family equals Debian. The second will check whether a file exists. The third is to confirm the correct version of Nginx is running on the system. And last, looking to ensure SSL is being used to publish the web application. Navigating to Scan Jobs and Nodes, we can add this new on-premises Ubuntu system by clicking Add Nodes. Enter the IP address of the node. Additional IP addresses could be added if importing multiple nodes. Assign a name to the node, and select the SSH credentials we added in the first step. Now that our system's been added and is reachable, we can go ahead and create a scan job. Click Automate and select the on-prem server. Click Next and select the profile. Give the scan job a name, and we have the ability to schedule a scan in the future or have it repeat on intervals from minutes to months. This scan will just run once and run it immediately. With the scan completed, we see the system is not compliant. Clicking in the node, we see 1 failed control and 3 that have passed. The failed control is to check whether SSL over port 443 is being utilized. In this cloud security posture management use case, we'll launch a scan against an AWS environment to ensure we're in compliance with the SOC 2 profile example we've uploaded to Chef Automate. The first step with the scan will be to navigate the settings and node integration. Here we can add a new cloud management service for AWS, Azure, or GCP. So we'll select AWS, provide a name, and enter the AWS access key ID and secret access key for our subscription, and save the integration. Going to Compliance and Profiles, Here's the SOC 2 example profile we've uploaded for this demonstration. We can see it includes a total of 34 controls. There's also the option to use one of the several AWS CIS benchmark profiles that can be found here. To launch the scan, navigate to Scan Jobs and create a scan job. Select the AWS demo scan. Select the SOC 2 profile. Now we do have the ability to schedule this scan in the future and reoccurring, but instead we'll just give the job a name and run it now. Once it completes, we can view the report, and as we can see, this AWS subscription is not in compliance. Clicking into the node, we can see out of the 34 controls within this profile, only half of them have passed. We have the ability to filter just the failed controls so we can begin working through them to resolve. In this use case, we'll look at scanning a Docker environment against the CIS benchmark profile to ensure we're in compliance. And once again, we need to add our Docker node through Scan Jobs and Add Nodes. Our Docker node is running in AWS, so we can simply get the public IP address of this system so we can successfully connect. Give a node name and assign a user credential that we added earlier. Once again, we can see the system is reachable, so we can move on and get the necessary profile to scan the system with. Navigating to Profiles and selecting the available list, we can search for Docker and get the latest benchmark profile version and simply click Get to download it. Now that's successfully downloaded, we can create the scan job. So we'll select Automate, and we'll search for our Docker node. Now we'll click Next, select the CIS Docker profile. We'll give it a name and save it to run it immediately rather than scheduling it for a future run. Now that it's done, we'll review the report, and once again, we have a system that's not compliant. Having a look into the node, we have a total of 29 failed controls in which we need to investigate further. Now that we've completed the necessary scans for this demonstration, we can always look back at reporting where we started and review the reports. Starting with the overview of the node status, here we can see the 3 failed nodes from our demonstration and 1 skip node which was included in some unrelated testing. The overview can also be seen from the profile status with the total number of passed and failed controls. Now we've already reviewed the reports view from the node standpoint throughout this demonstration, so we don't need to revisit that. But from a profile standpoint, where a single profile is typically used across multiple nodes and environment, this view will provide that consolidated report. Finally, looking at this from a list of all controls that are being leveraged in the environment, all of which can be filtered. In this example, we'll filter by profile and take the list down from 266 controls to just the 34 that are in the AWS SOC 2 profile that we used earlier. All of this allows customers to have more control to ensure the systems running in the environment are at and continue to be compliant to better serve the business.
All right. I hope all of you had a very insightful demo on our Chef compliance and cloud security solution and how you can get comprehensive single pane of glass kind of view across all of your different workloads. Now let's take a quick look at the exciting things we've lined up and what we are currently building, we are planning in the Chef set of products. So ad hoc job orchestration is currently in the alpha stage, which is Chef Courier. That's a job orchestration solution that will provide granular control over nodes in the IT fleet. Administrators can create, run, and schedule tasks to run in any pattern across their fleet. And this will also make your usual reactionary and very unplanned ad hoc work easy to handle. And it'll allow IT professionals to focus more on more impactful and meaningful work. And this whole new orchestration capability, it'll offer IT administrators and InfoSec engineers flexibility across 3 dimensions. The whatever, when we say whatever, mean any actions you want to take, and are there any conditions that need to be met for other actions to execute. The wherever, whether it's the entire fleet or even it's a section of the fleet, like for only those nodes that have, let's say, Java installed, for instance. And the whenever, should it be done now? Should it be scheduled? Should it be run at a later time? Is it dependent on any other incidents, etc.? And again, in the compliance context, right, in the security and compliance space, how is it applicable? Some examples of job orchestration that we can think about in the context of security and compliance. So you can run scans, compliance and security scans on demand, or you can schedule any recurring scans based on certain conditions that you provide. You can do orchestration for remediation activities through very quick application of patches, rolling back software versions, etc., etc. And we just wanted to let you know that we are currently in the alpha phase and will be kickstarting beta soon. That brings us to the end of the presentation session, and we'll move on to the Q&A. We have some questions that have come up. I'll take a few of them now in the interest of time. So the first question is, were the scans that were performed during the demo run from a SaaS environment? Yes, it is run from a SaaS environment. So we do have 2 deployment options. We deploy, all the solutions can be deployed in a SaaS model or on-prem way. And the demo that we showed you was from a SaaS environment. And in the presentation, we also covered benefits of using Chef SaaS. The next question that we have is, can we get reports from different environments onto one single dashboard? Lokesh, would you be able to answer that question?
Yes, sure. So yeah, so with respect to scanning, like let's say if I'm scanning in on-prem use case, or if I'm running a scan on Docker, or if I'm running a scan on different cloud environments, and can I see all this different scan jobs and different reports in a single dashboard? Yes, we can. You can definitely see it in a like in a single dashboard. So that's like one of our primary USP of our product. So there are challenges. Most of the users who are using like let's say if a user is using from Azure policy, or if the user is using from AWS security hub, no, so they have like in-house tools, and if they have to see it in like their security posture in single dashboard, it's very difficult. But if they use Chef Automate, no, they can consolidate all the reports, and they can use it in they can view it in a single dashboard. And one more advantage, they can also export all these reports to like in a Splunk, or like in a ServiceNow aspect also. So that's another advantage of using Chef Automate. Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Lokesh. The next question that we have is it possible to run scans on AWS, GCP, and Azure environments together at the same time?
Oh yes, definitely. So after integrating each node, no, so user can schedule all 3 different types of scan jobs, like AWS scan job, GCP, and Azure environment scan jobs, and they can able to run different scan jobs at same time. Yeah, they can do it. Sure.
Great. The next one is, are multiple scan jobs required to run multiple profiles on the same node?
No, not really. So users can select like how many ever profiles they want to run against a particular node. So, for example, while creating a scan job, no, users can select the desired profiles they want to run. After selecting whichever node, no, they are targeting against. So ideally they can select the particular profile, and they can target the node, and they can run against that profile.
Great. I think we'll take up one more last question. I think this is based on the demo that we showcased. So can the solution help in rotating the SSH keys?
Yes. So there are chances, but they have to add the keys manually as a prerequisite, and there are certain commands within Chef Automate where users can use that keys for SSS keys rotation. Probably you can refer our Chef Automate docs for more details. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Lokesh. I think so. With that, we'll conclude the session for today. Thank you very much, all the organizers. Thank you, Lokesh, and thank you to all the attendees for taking time out to attend today's session. Thank you very much again, and have a great day.